Human memory is not like a camera. It's fickle. The moment we see someone, no matter how hard we try to memorize their features, we immediately start forgetting. Unless, of course, we know them. And then we usually always recognize them, even when they change.
Let's do a basic face identification task.
Okay. So Psychologist Nancy Franklin researches memory and cognitive bias at Stony Brook University in New York.
So here we take away the need for you to remember anyone's face. Your job is to say either he's there or not, and if he's there, which one he is.
Wow, this one is incredibly hard to do. I don't think he's there.
You got it right.
In tests like these, people tend to make a false identification about 30% of the time, and if the people in the lineup are of a different race, that rate goes up by about 1.5 times.
One reason I did well in the test is probably that I could compare the faces in real time, unlike witnessing an actual crime. Research shows that in real-life police lineups, eyewitnesses get it wrong at least a quarter of the time. And besides bad memory, there are outside influences that cause inaccuracies.
How is it that a detective's wish or belief can infect a witness?
They may say, we have a suspect, come down and look at a lineup, see if you can find him. So that is telling the witness that they should pick someone, when in fact one of the options is, I don't recognize anyone.
None of these people did it.
When somebody gets on the stand and says, I'll never forget his face, and points to a person, a defendant, there's nothing more compelling to jurors.
Rebecca Brown is the director of policy at the Innocence Project, which is trying to exonerate wrongfully convicted people. She's working to prevent these errors by convincing law enforcement to alter the way they handle eyewitnesses. Norwood, Massachusetts Police Chief Bill Brooks is leading the way in training officers in the new eyewitness procedures.
If you use a clean, science-based procedure and you've got a witness who points and shows high certainty without any kind of feedback or any kind of tainting of their memory, now that evidence can be reliable.
Thousands of agencies in more than 14 states have already reformed their way of handling eyewitness evidence. But what about forensic evidence? Think of all the TV dramas where forensic science wins the day. Well, research has found that even scientific proof can be tainted if the people doing the analysis are exposed to unnecessary information.
Do they match?
E.T.L. Dror is a cognitive neuroscientist. He says that analyzing evidence involves subjective judgment. And when experts get irrelevant information, it can bias their decision-making.
The big danger is the forensic experts and other experts who come to the court and misrepresent themselves as objective, as infallible, and present evidence which is in fact subjective and biased.
Dror began his cognitive contamination studies with fingerprinting, which has been used for over 100 years in U.S. courts and which Dror calls the bread and butter of forensic examination.
They went to real criminal cases that experts went to court and said, this is a match. Great. I took those fingerprints and gave them again to the same fingerprint examiner, but now in a context that they don't match. The person had an alibi, the detective thinks, and depending on the difficulty of the match, depending on the context, in some experiment, 80% of them said it doesn't match. The same examiner that looked at the same print and testified that it's 100% a match.
What kind of response have you had from the law enforcement community?
Initially, the response was not only hostile, but emotional. And there was a lot of very defensive and defensive-aggressive responses.
Responses like this article from the Journal of Applied Research in Memory and Cognition, in which Leonard Butt says that some examiners talk to investigators only to, quote, enjoy their jobs without actually altering their judgment. Dror says things are changing, but the problem is that cases create adversaries, the prosecution on one side, the defense on the other, and a forensic lab that's closely aligned with one of those sides.
A lot of time they don't work from the evidence to the suspect. They work backward from the suspect to the evidence.
So, what's the solution?
It's very simple. Forensic examiners have been made aware that the suspect confessed, there are eyewitnesses against the suspect. All the information that is totally irrelevant, their evidence should not be admitted in court.
Jacob Ward, Al Jazeera, New York.